Hello everyone and welcome to this latest video. We have a pretty big surprise. Genesis just revealed the first look at their all-new GV60 all-electric SUV based on the Hyundai Kia Genesis e-GMP global modular electric architecture. And so let's dive into this crazy new electric crossover from Genesis and see how significant it's going to be in the electric world as more and more manufacturers in this segment reveal all new EVs. Okay, everyone, as I just said, we have the all-new Genesis GV60 SUV, and boy, is it interesting to look at. Genesis decided to unveil this vehicle in kind of a very polarizing kind of like lime green specification, and I think the interior is equally as polarizing as is blue with a lime green contrast. Silver wheels, I think this is the worst kind of specification they could have launched with. So I kind of did a whole bunch of photoshops of a whole bunch of different colors of what we're probably going to expect to see in terms of color variations for the upcoming GV60. But regardless, so what is this? So this is their first ever, Genesis's first ever ground up electric vehicle. It's based on the Hyundai Kia Genesis e-GMP architecture, which is a global modular, meaning it can be changed electric vehicle architecture. Now, this vehicle, of course, is Genesis's version. This is also shared with vehicles like the new Hyundai Ioniq 5. We also have a Ioniq 6. I think it's Ioniq 6. There's a lot of different Ioniq names. We all have the Kia EV6 as well. They're all kind of like this weird hatchback style form. I think the Kia EV6 currently looks the best out of the three, but there's going to be more vehicles coming on this platform very soon. The Genesis takes a very different approach, I think, with the design. They've tried to implement their kind of split headlight design, the two lines theme. So up front we have the two split headlights, which kind of are angular into this kind of almost mask shaped face up front. And on the lower end we kind of have like a shape of that Genesis grille design, but it's unusual where that there's kind of like a invisible V that meets into kind of like this new piece built into the grille. There's kind of like these large side vents. I don't know, it's a little funky up front. Coming around to the rear is a little bit more funky. I kind of like it generally overall, but that rear C-pillar with the kind of like that lightning bolt design is definitely interesting. I think it might take a little bit of time to get used to. I guess, I don't know really why they did that there, maybe to kind of mean a lightning bolt or something, or kind of just switch up the design. I think it would have been a lot cleaner if they did it in a different fashion. Looking at the rear as well, we have kind of like this integrated rear spoiler bar with a full LED third brake light built into there. Of course, we have those very angular split Genesis taillights as well, very Mercedes-like back there as well. Overall, this car has very strange proportions, very strange shapes. And I think there's a lot of Kia EV6. If you just stare at the door panels and just look at that, all I see is Kia EV6, and I can't get it out of my mind, unfortunately. But a lot of weird stuff going on here. I think this color, like I said before, this color and the wheel combination is just not working for this vehicle. So again, I try to put different colors out there to see what it looks like. But I think on the interior is where it's really amazing and really polarizing. Now, all of the e-GMP architecture vehicles kind of have this split old Mercedes style dual displays. So we have our big driver's display up front, a huge touchscreen all connected into that one kind of floating piece. But the rest of the interior is all unique to Genesis. I do like this steering wheel design. This is kind of like a really nice steering wheel design for them. You do see paddle shifters, but those are going to be used for regenerative braking. We have these nice kind of metal look buttons on the steering wheel. And there are two buttons there. One of them says a boost button, and the other one says your drive mode selector. So I'm guessing a boost is probably like a temporary boost in the electric vehicle power, which is going to be really cool. I think that's going to be cool to see. Going down to the center console, well, the lack of a center console really, there's a huge open space and kind of like this floating center beam coming out of there really. And we have this crystal ball gear shifter, which is so wacky. I've never seen anything like this before. It really is like it literally is a crystal ball actually to kind of select your gears. Up front we have the new Genesis controller. They kind of changed it already, so now it's more of like an iDrive style scroll wheel. And the rest of the buttons are everything we've seen in most of the other Genesis, including the climate controls, look very similar to what we've seen on the new Genesis GV70 SUV. Now this one is optioned with the mirrors as a camera, cameras as a mirror, kind of flip that around. That's probably not going to be available, well, it won't be available in the US actually, which that's not legal here just yet, or hopefully ever. I don't really know what's going on with that, but that's going to be for other markets. So we'll have traditional mirrors in the United States market, at least in most of North America as well. Also on the door handles, there's this really cool, almost like a ejector seat button style thing. I think that's to change your mirror control, so it's really interesting. And on the door panels as well, there's going to be that 2 lines as well. And they're going to be ambient lighting. I think that's actually really, really cool of a design touch. A lot of unique stuff on this one. We're seeing, I think this is kind of like a designer's exercise vehicle for Genesis, where they kind of let them run free with these new crazy ideas. There's a lot of interesting stuff though, so I think the design's going to take some time for people to get used to. Personally, I can say those silver wheels are not really working for me, and this color is just not working for me. It's definitely a weird combination. But now, Genesis has not revealed any specifications, so we don't have any pricing, we don't have any power specifications, battery specifications, or anything like that. But since this is riding on the e-GMP architecture, we pretty much know it's coming, as both the EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq versions all have the same kind of batteries and the same kind of power outputs, though they all can be changed to each manufacturer's liking. So we can expect to see batteries ranging anywhere from, I think, up to like 75 kilowatts and all the way, or 77 kilowatts and all the way down to 58 kilowatt sizes in battery packs. We can see ranges up to like 300 310 miles of range, depending on which one you get. We're going to see an 800 volt electrical architecture, which allows for charging speed up to 350 kilowatts an hour, which is an example as around like 10 to 80% of charge around under 18 minutes, which is really fast. We're also going to see power outputs up to around 576, maybe even 600 horsepower, and go all the way down to around 300, even less, around probably for Genesis around 300 horsepower, and we'll probably see the top end versions make that 580, 500-ish horsepower range. And of course, we're gonna have either rear-wheel drive or dual motor all-wheel drive variants on offer as well. So that's pretty much what we're gonna expect to see in the powertrain department. And those specifications and those numbers come from the other two vehicles, the EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq hatchback thing. And so that's pretty much what we're going to expect to see. Pricing is kind of in the blue, out of the dark right now. We don't really know what's going on with that. Maybe we can see pricing start around $45,000, maybe $50,000, and jump up from there. We're not too sure just yet where the pricing is going to stand at all. So we're going to have to wait and see with that. But right now, this is pretty much all we know really with this all new Genesis GV60. This is kind of Genesis's just first little debut of kind of like the whole vehicle architecture and kind of the design debut. Later on, we're going to see more specifications, pricing, and all the other specifics coming out later on. Maybe we'll see a sport version too. That could be really interesting. Maybe they'll have that higher power output, maybe more aggressive wheels, larger wheel style, and whatnot. It is a very interesting looking SUV. I'm sure people will buy it. I feel like people really do like Genesis products right now. I really like a lot what Genesis is doing right now, but this is definitely their most far-reaching product that they have on the market, or about to be on the market so far. So what do we think so far? I think the exterior is interesting, maybe controversial, might take time, get some time to use to. The interior is amazing. I think it's a knock out of the ballpark. Blows away competition. This is going to compete with things like the Tesla Model Y, I think maybe the BMW, not the iX, but the iX3 and other markets. We're going to see the upcoming competition from things like the Mercedes EQC and other markets as well. So a lot of that mid-tier electric SUV range is kind of where we're going to see competition coming out on this. Yeah, definitely interesting vehicle. I'm very, very excited to see the different colors and specifications options officially from Genesis, because this is a polarizing color. So thank you guys again for watching these videos, and stay tuned for a lot more, and make sure to check out Genesis's other electrified products like the e-G80, the upcoming e-GV70, and the upcoming e-G90, which is kind of like their gas vehicles with batteries shoved in, lesser range, but you get the more traditional look. Again, follow us on Instagram to see more news and updates on everything going on in the automotive world. Thanks again.